So basically, this session will have knowledge on two things. One is about the investments, the basics of investments, and the role of depository services. Okay. So I've just given an introduction about CDSL itself. What is all about CDSL? So this company is actually incorporated in 1997, and the major shareholders are Bombay Stock Exchange, HDFC Bank, Standard Chartered, Canara, LIC, etc. And you can say that this is the only listed depository in the Asia Pacific region. Listed in the sense it is listed in stock exchanges as Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange, and also one of the first depository to operate from the International Financial City, which is in Gujarat. And obviously, it has all the ISO certifications, whatever has been required for a quality purpose. And you can say digitization. So as it says, it's actually entire thing is digital. There's no physical document which has been sent by CDSL itself. Everything is digital nowadays. Okay, and that's the reason it has been more popular towards opening the Demat account. What is CDSL today? If we consider very recently, CDSL has crossed an fantastic milestone of 4 crore accounts. Okay, in India, and these accounts are situated with 97% of India's pin codes. So you can consider that it's entirely the entire nation is being covered with all those Demat accounts. DP registers. DPs are basically the depository participants. So generally, when we open an account, we open account with a broker. Okay, this broker is actually a depository participant with CDSL. So there are 592 depository participants, and overall 20,500 touch points are there for CDSL. So very widespread and amazingly available across India. There are 16,000 plus unique companies available and 14,601 equity assets. So overall, it is an amazingly well established and fantastically doing company in the Demat accounts. Okay, so let's come to our part, that is of financial planning. See, financial planning consists of all these topics about the ideology on savings, about the ideology on inflation. Okay, there is a difference between financial planning and investment planning. Then there are different asset classes. Okay, what are mutual funds, what are capital markets, everything basically. Okay, so we'll go one by one, and I will make you understand what is the importance of it. Okay, so the first part, which is the need of saving. See, generally across globe, if you consider, the tendency whenever we start earning money is spending, right? So if I'm earning a salary of, let's say, 50,000 or 25,000 rupees per month, so I would, if it is my first salary, the major part goes into spending itself. Okay, the first 6 months salary or 1 year is more into buying gadgets or spending it with friends, families, everywhere across. But the actual mathematics does not work in that way if you want to actually make wealth, because everybody has an ideology of making wealth. Okay, so the need of saving starts with some pointers. Okay, the some pointers is like freedom to pursue your dream career. Okay, so let's say if in future you want to have you want to go and study abroad with some kind of PhDs or any kind of doctorate degree. Okay, so that is one of a part where savings needs to be clubbed up, because I think from now, once you start working, your family will not most probably support you for all kind of larger dreams. Okay, long-term social security, yes, that's a basic line of the need of savings, because as we grow older and then we retire, and basically our body does not support more towards working and getting things done. Okay, so that particular time for the social security factor, you need money. Okay, so that money does not come as you'll be not working, you'll be retired. Okay, there is one more concept which is very popular since 7 to 8 years, that is saving for fun. So saving for fun is basically like I want to buy let's say a Royal Enfield, okay, or I want to go to Leh Ladakh trip, or let's say I want to have a Europe trip to be done. Okay, so likewise, this is saving for fun, which you can, or the simplest and the best part, which I think a lot of people you must have used, is to buy an expensive gadget like an iPhone or and a very expensive gadget basically. Okay, marriage, yes. See, in India, this concept is been used since ages. that parents generally club up money for the marriage perspective. So savings is done for that kind of structure also. Okay, whether it is for male, whether it is female, both ways basically the money has been collected for the marriage purpose. Leaving a financial legacy. Maybe this generation will start doing it. Our last generations were not doing it, that are not focused on that. But leaving a financial legacy is like leaving some wealth for the next generation which is coming up. Okay, so for that reason also a saving factor should be done. Big purchases, yes, your house, your car, saving should be there. Okay, and the biggest and important factor is retirement planning. So see, the underlying for the need of saving is retirement planning. Okay, because I think 90% of people who do savings for a longer period of time, they do it purely for the retirement planning purpose. Okay, and the other things are obviously there, which comes as and when we grow in our life. Okay, see, whenever you save, you need to understand one important concept, which is inflation. Okay, in a simple terms, mehengai. Now, how does inflation basically kills us? It's very simple. If you take an average of let's say 20 years, the inflation is around 7%. Okay, and gradually what happens is the money which you invest, if that money is not growing over and above 7%, okay, so finally you're not getting anything out of it, right? Because that amount has been cut down by inflation. The best example is fuel prices. We all know how the fuel prices have been increased. Okay, even if you consider a movie ticket, okay, a movie ticket was costing like 35 or 40 rupees when I was in college, and right now it is at least 400 rupees. Okay, if I go on first day first show, and the other expenses are more than 400. Okay, so like 800, 1000 goes into other expenses of dining and all those snacks factor. So overall cost of entertainment has been increased, you can say 20 times than which was like 15 years back. Okay, and uh, the inflation, as I said, the 7% factor in which we have done. Now, if you say like fixed deposit, okay, currently the fixed deposit is giving and interest of around 5.5% to 6%. So if I go and invest in a fixed deposit, my money will grow by let's say 6% on an average. Okay, but the inflation is 7%. Okay, so whatever money or income I will generate, actually 1% less I am going to get. So this is a very important concept. Whenever you will invest in the future in any kind of instrument, okay, whatever instrument you invest, first understand it should be above 7%. If we go into any insurance policy or a combination of a policy and he says that okay, on an average you'll get 6% return, so you should better say no for it, because average inflation is 6%. If sorry 7%, if you give me 6%, so my money will degrow by 1%. See, investing is what? It's a very simple factor. Why I invest? That my money should grow, right? If the money is not going to grow, it's better I will keep it in the cupboard or in my saving account where it is not going to grow, right? But whenever I invest in any kind of instrument, the money should grow at least by 7%. So understand this thing. Inflation is a very important key whenever you do any kind of investments. Okay. Now, there is a difference between financial planning and investment planning. Okay, a lot of people basically confuse it and they say it's all the one factor. Okay, so say investment planning is basically planning for the money. So whatever money you actually earn, okay, so we first have the income and then we do the expenses and whatever is left, okay, then we actually save. Okay, and this formula has been used by everyone across. Okay, I will say globally. Whenever people actually start earning, they earn the money, they spend it, okay, and then whatever is left, that they will save it, and the leftover is never it never happens basically. Okay, but what could be the actual financial planning factor? Okay, that is planning for the income is whatever you earn, you save, and whatever has been left, you actually should spend it or do the expenses. Okay, this is the actual golden formula which you can utilize. Okay, so the income which I generate, okay, minus the savings. So I earn money, okay, and then I save it, and whatever is remaining, I will spend it. Okay, so this is the logic behind the actual investing. as said by the famous investment guru, Mr. Warren Buffett. Okay, he says, "Do not save what is left after spending; instead, spend what is left after saving." Okay, that is how it actually works on. And now there are a lot of investment asset classes. Okay, you have mutual funds, you have real estate, you can keep that money in your saving account, you have life insurance, you have stock market. You can now invest into foreign equities, okay, which has been allowed by RBI nowadays. Bonds you can invest, okay, you can invest in stocks directly. Now there are so many asset classes, and you actually get confused in what kind of asset class I should invest. Okay, generally, see, every asset class has a particular type of amount, and the very important factor is your goal. Okay, now if I have a very limited goal, okay, let's say for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and I could not take any kind of risk also involved into it. So then I should actually find out such kind of investments, okay, where such kind of asset classes which would actually have less risk, okay, and obviously, when you go for a lesser risk, the returns would also be on a lesser side, because as risk goes down, returns also goes down. Okay, and obviously, when the time also goes down, the returns will also go down. Okay, if we take an example of saving bank account, so you don't do anything, you keep your money in your saving bank account, that will fetch you 3% returns, 3% annualized. Okay, your inflation is 7%, so it does not match at all. Okay, but it is safe, right? Your bank would not go bankrupt. There are very less chances of like out of 1,000 one would happen. Okay, but still, like, the bankruptcy would be on a very lesser side. So money is safe, it is in the bank account, you can utilize it anytime, no issues. And I can put 10,000, 15,000, 500, 1,000, any amount. Now, let's say if my goal is for 10 years, next 10 years, and I have a large chunk of money, okay, then I can select an asset class as real estate. Okay, where I have some kind of money which I can put, take some kind of loan, and then let's say give it on rent, and whatever rental income would be there, minus my EMI. Okay, likewise I can build my asset. Okay. Or else, like, you have a very smaller amount, the best part to be done is a mutual fund. Okay, which gives you good returns also. It is a combination on the objective factor. Lot of what are those? I will explain it into the next slide. Okay, so what is a mutual fund basically? A mutual fund is like a pool of money. Okay, so a lot of investors like you, me, everybody. Like for an example, this is an entire class, and we have more than 150 plus students. Now, all these 150 plus students decide that we want to invest into equities. Okay, stocks, but we don't have any kind of knowledge, and that's not my core business. Okay, so what I do here is I appoint a experienced fund manager. Let's say you people appoint me as an experienced fund manager. Okay. And what I will do is I will collect all this money of yours and then invest into stocks directly and manage it particularly and generate returns out of it. And whatever returns have been generated, I will distribute it amongst all of you people. Okay. So this is a very basic understanding of mutual fund. Now, the ideology behind it is the objective should be met. Okay. Now, all these 150 people should have an ideology saying that, okay, we want to invest into companies which are blue chip companies. Okay. So this is the objective of the fund. Or let's say we want to invest into a gold, only in gold. So if everybody's objective meet up, okay, then we can invest it accordingly. Then me as a fund manager can invest it accordingly, generate returns, and then pass it back to you. Okay, so this is how a very basic ideology of mutual fund works on. Why generally go for a mutual fund? Because there is a diversification. Like if you go for equities, uh, me as a fund manager can decide which stocks to buy. Okay, and I will not actually invest your entire money in one particular stock. Okay, or one particular sector. I will actually diversify it with different companies, different sectors. Okay, so what happens if I diversify my portfolio? The risk factor comes on a lower side. Okay, convenience is there. Convenience in terms of I can invest monthly, I can invest quarterly. Okay, I can invest lump sum amount. Okay, nowadays we also have daily SIPs, like you can give 100 rupees or 500 rupees every day, which you can invest through an SIP mode. Okay, The day I decide that I don't want to invest, I need to stop now. You can stop it now. You want to withdraw some amount out of it, you can withdraw the amount out of it. Okay, so convenience in mutual fund is amazing. Okay, risk adjusted returns potential, yes, as I said, because of diversification, the returns would be risk adjusted. Okay, flexibility and liquidity is there. So as I said, that anytime you can just go and withdraw it, you get your money in 2 days time. Okay, because when you submit the withdrawal, you can do it. Nowadays, from a mobile app itself, you just submit the withdrawal amount or the entire amount whichever you want. You can just submit it, and once it has been done, in next 2 days, the money comes directly in your bank account. So flexibility is there, liquidity is there. Liquidity in the terms I am saying, like for an example, real estate, which we discussed. So if I want to sell my property, okay. Uh, it's not that tomorrow I will get a buyer for it, right? I need to list that property, then a lot of people will come, see it, understand, then they will give me some kind of token amount, then the next part will come of registration. There is a lot of process involved, which will take 2 to 3 months time. So you can't immediately liquidate it, okay? But in mutual funds, you can just, as I said, in 2 days, you get your money back. So liquidity is there, flexibility is there. There are some kind of mutual funds which provide tax benefit also. Okay, obviously there is a lock-in of 3 years into it. Okay, so you invest, you have a lock-in, and you can enjoy the tax benefit out of it, which comes into your ATC section of 1.5 lakh rupees. And the very important key for mutual fund is it is professionally managed. Okay, so people with a fund manager basically with an experience of let's say 15 years, 20 years is into who's managing your money, who is day in day out into equities. He understands the market, he understands the economic, or he has a team of people who are economists, okay, who are analysts, whether it is fundamental or technical, everybody, and then they give an input, and then the decision has been made accordingly. So it's professionally managed. The best way to go for an investment, the first step would be mutual funds. Now, if you see mutual fund, the returns, if you consider on an average 15% CAGR, the returns are there. So anything between 12% to 15% you can get through mutual fund, obviously for a longer period of time. Okay. Now let's come to what are capital markets. Now, mutual funds, we have seen that obviously the money which has been collected is invested into stocks. Now, this is a way out, not a direct investment. What about direct investment? Let's say if you want to buy a stock. So capital markets are generally function in two parts: primary market and the secondary market. Okay. Now, primary market is what is the first time where the company actually comes to public, okay, and they give the shares to the people with a particular price, and they make public the shareholders. Okay, the best example recently which I want to give you is of Zomato. So Zomato, which came with an IPO, the term IPO means initial public offering. Okay, so initially they have come up to people like you, me, everybody, that you apply and become a shareholder of Zomato. Okay, now here there are already shareholders. The owner of Zomato is a shareholder. There are multiple companies which have already invested in Zomato. Okay, through private equities, through investment banking, everything. Now what happens is once this IPO comes up, you people apply, you if you get a share, okay, allotted. Now this IPO has to be listed, like the shares get tradable. Okay, this tradability basically is happens through a secondary market. Okay, now secondary market is basically in a very simple term is our stock exchanges like National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, where this shares, where this equity is freely tradable. Okay, like if I have applied for a Zomato IPO and if I get the shares, okay, in the allocation, and let's say somebody, Mr. A, has not got a share and he wants to buy it, okay. So what will happen after the listing date, whenever the listing happens of Zomato into stock exchanges? So on the listing date, if I want to sell it, okay, so I will place a sell order onto the exchange where Mr. A will place a buy order. If his price matches, okay, my order will get executed. So my shares will be transferred to him. Okay, so he becomes the owner of those shares. So the free tradability of the shares is done through a secondary market. Okay. See, not every company is listed onto the secondary market, but still there are like 6,500 companies listed onto stock exchanges, both NSE and BSE combined. Now, The mostly used exchanges are both NSE and BSE. There were local exchanges in India, but now they have been closed out. So now we have in India we have only two exchanges: National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay. Now to open an account, let's say now to buy these shares, okay, what will happen? Like what I should have. So to buy a share, you require account. Okay. Now this account is a combination of three things: saving bank account, trading account, and Demat account. Okay, these three things should be there. Now, saving bank account, so everybody knows what it is. Now, what is a trading and what is a Demat account? Okay. Now, a trading account basically is where I would actually do the transaction of buying, okay, buying and selling. So as I said that I want to sell my Zomato shares. Okay, so I will place an order in my trading account. Okay, now Mr. A, if he buys that shares, okay, and the transaction is completed entirely, so Mr. A will pay me the amount at whatever price which we had finalized, okay, and the shares from my Demat account will go to his Demat account. Okay. Now Demat account basically is what? Is basically you can say the same like your bank account where your shares are being deposited in the electronic format. Okay. Now in saving bank account, what happens? Like your money has been deposited in an electronic format there. You can view it online. You can see okay how much money you have. In the same way, you can view your Demat account online and you can check how much shares you have, what quantity of shares you have. Okay. So in a very simple term, if I want to tell you is your trading account is your shop, okay, and your Demat account is your go down. So you get goods, okay. Let's say if a company comes to your shop and says, okay, these are the goods, and you sell it immediately. You buy, get that good and immediately sell it to somebody. So that is you have brought it on the same day and sold it on the same day. But the remaining thing you will go and deposit in your go down, right? And whenever the requirement comes, you will sell it accordingly. So that is how the trading and Demat account functions. The saving bank account comes in the functionality because you need to transfer funds before buying a share, and once you sell a share, you get that money in your saving bank account. So these are three things which you need to open a Demat account, to basically transact into shares to open a Demat account. Okay. What documentations? So these are all the standard documentations which are required. PAN is a mandatory for it because taxation part comes into buying and selling of equity shares because it is an asset. When you buy an asset, you sell an asset. There is a capital gain tax in India. Okay, so that's why you require PAN card as a mandatory one, and the second one is a proof of address, which you can give your voter's ID, driving license, your Aadhaar, passport, anything. And the third thing which you require is your bank proof. Okay, because these are the three important documentations which you require. PAN as a mandate, second is address proof, okay, and the third is the bank proof. So all these three combined together, you need to fill your KYC, that is know your client documentation, and open an account. Nowadays, I think everybody, I will not say 90%, 80%, 70 or 99%. I feel like 100% of all the broking houses who open Demat accounts, they do it online itself through eKYC, electronic KYC. Okay, so physical is nowadays gone kind of thing. Okay, and due to COVID, obviously people have started using the digital platform. Okay, so who can open Demat accounts in India? Individuals up to three holders they can open a Demat account. So you can open an account on your name. You can have a joint account, and you can add a third holder also. Okay, so like a father can open an account, like a mother can be a joint, and the son daughter can also be added into the Demat account. Okay, HUFs can open Demat account in India. Minor can also open a Demat account. So in future, let's say once you get married, you have children. So that time if you want to open an account on your child name and start buying stocks on his name for a longer period of time, okay, you can do that, opening a minor account, but it has to be supported by a guardian which is 18 years and above. NRIs who are not Indians but non-resident Indians, they can also open a Demat account and invest in Indian equities. Companies, corporates, they can open an account and invest. Trusts, which are registered trusts, they can also open an account. Banks, domestic institutional investors, like mutual fund companies, they can also open a Demat account, and FPIs, that is foreign portfolio investors. So all these people with registered trust, they can open an account and invest in Indian equities. different kind of compliance. So these are an open forum now, and everybody can come and invest in India through equities. Okay, benefits of a Demat account. See, anything which is electronical, okay, it's very much beneficial, right? Once you keep your stocks in electronic format, it's easy to transfer those shares. Okay, easy to manage it, easy to view it. Okay, easy to track it, everything. So we have, as I said, that the benefits is it's safe, easy, transferable, retrievable very easily. Okay, you can transfer it from one broker to other broker. You don't like a service, you want to move it to other broker, very easily transferable. Okay, with just a single application form, the entire stocks get transferred from one broker to other broker. You can also have loan against those shares, because as I said that stocks or equity basically is an asset. Okay, so you can pledge an asset and take loans through various banks or financial institutes. Okay, if it is in Demat, it's very easy to do that. Easy to transfer, as I said, you want to transfer from one broker to other, or even from one account to other account, it is easy to do that. Okay, and nowadays mutual funds also come into Demat format, so it is very easy. So not in Demat, it's not only mutual funds. Now your education degrees can also be into a Demat format. So once it goes into electronic format, it is very easy to manage. Okay, and easy to understand the structure. If you have a lot of physical things, like I know that I had done a lot of financial planning for a lot of clients. So once the client retires, I was sitting with one of a client, and he actually got two boxes. Okay, and all those boxes where he had invested in different kind of mutual funds, different kinds of bonds, and it was entire mess. When we actually tallied it, we took 14 days to actually tally everything. Okay, sitting 10, 14 hours every day with all those documentation. So it's a very hectic task when you go in a physical format. But if you have a Demat one, electronic one, you have just one statement which can consolidate and give you the entire ideology. What kind of funds you have invested, what is the performance of that fund. Okay, if it is performing good, you want to exit, you can exit that. Underperforming funds are there. Everything can be tracked in one single statement. It's a fantastic way to manage it through a Demat account. Okay, there are some do's and don'ts before you trade. Okay, which are been defined by SEBI. So deal only through SEBI registered intermediaries. How to identify those is go to a SEBI website, sebi.gov.in, and from there you can go into the members of it, okay, intermediaries of it, and you can search. Unless and until it is registered in SEBI, please do not go and deal with those kind of companies, brokers, people, basically. Okay, ensure obviously you have read all the documents and photocopy, which is a standard factor. Okay, get a very clear idea about whatever charges are being levied by your broker. Okay, so there are brokerage charges, there are taxes, everything basically needs to be clear before you open an account there. Okay, and whatever documentation you do, you ensure that you get a copy of it. Use for it. Very important factor is what you should not do. What you should not do. That is don'ts. Okay. So don't deal with unregistered intermediaries. As I said, only deal with registered one. Do not execute any document without reading, understanding. Okay. Just don't blankly sign it and give it, because here it is you are buying an asset and it should not happen in that way. Okay. Very important is do not trade on rumors. Okay, that somebody tells you that okay, buy this particular stock, this company is going to go somewhere, some kind of news is going to come into this company. Please do not buy. Do your research, understand the company, corporates, their profits, read the balance sheet, and then only invest into that company. Please do not invest onto rumors. Yes, do not share your internet trading account password with anyone. The same way you don't share your phone password with anyone. You don't share your Facebook password with anyone. You don't share your Insta password with anyone. In the same way, please do not share your internet trading password with anyone. Okay, keep it with you. Same thing happens for bank also, and the same thing happens for Demat also. Do not make any payment in cash to stockbrokers. See, I will tell you one thing. Cash as a component is not actually required into the stockbroking or mutual fund business. Okay, so if somebody asks you that, okay, give me cash or I will invest on your behalf, so that is gone basically. So cash component is not at all considered into investing through equities. Okay, even mutual funds. Don't issue checks on the name of the sub broker or an authorized person. So we have stock exchanges. Stock exchanges get registered. They are basically known as brokers. Stock exchanges get registered through brokers. So brokers are there, and then brokers basically appoint sub brokers. Okay. So as brokers could not reach everywhere, so they appoint sub brokers. Sub brokers are basically kind of agents. So as we say that we have Life Insurance Corporation, LIC, right? So LIC appoints agents, and those agents basically go to people and get people's life insured. All right. The same way in stock broking, we have exchanges, and then we have brokers. Now these brokers basically appoint sub brokers or authorized persons, nowadays they are called, and these people actually go to end users and open the Demat account. So do not write any checks on the name of sub brokers or authorized person. You only have to write check on the name of the broker. Okay. Do not hesitate to approach to authorities for any kind of issues. Like people hesitate that, oh, okay, if the issue is there, why I should complain? Do not do that. Go with the complaint pattern. Okay, if you have not understood anything, or if they first complain to your broker, if he does not reply, go to the next stage, complain to the exchange. Okay, if you don't get reply from exchange, then SEBI is the final body which is there. Okay, who can understand? And everybody, okay, whether it is a broker, whether it is exchange, or whether it is SEBI, everyone has their grievance mechanism, and which is available on their website. You can directly go on a website and place a complaint online itself by writing your credentials, your basic client code, and your detail of your complaint. Okay, so it is very simple and easy to do it. You can do it through your mobile browser also. Okay, so don't hesitate to do that. If you have any issues, doubts, please go ahead and uh, launch a complaint. Okay. So what are the services basically offered by a depository? Okay, so we have two depositories in India, CDSL and NSDL. Okay, so the role of depository is to basically keep shares into Demat format, and there are other services also. So what are the services? To convert the physical stock into an electronic format. Okay, rematerialization also happens. That is the reverse of Demat. You can convert your electronic stocks basically into a physical stock. Nobody does that, but you can also that facility is also available. Okay, as a remat. Transfer of securities, like you transfer it from one account to other account, as I said. Transmission of securities. So let's say if you as a owner of that particular Demat account, you demiss, like you die. Okay. So the nomination basically it's very simple. The nominee has to just open an account, and all the shares from uh, the person who has died basically get transferred to the nomination. Okay, in a very simple format. So transmission of securities is very easily available. Okay, and transposition is also available, like changing it from one account to another basically. So let's say if I open an account on my name and my wife's name, A and B. Okay, and tomorrow I want there's one more account which needs to be open from where my wife is the first holder and I am the second holder, and the shares from this account needs to be transferred in that account where the first holder gets changed. That facility is also available. So that's known as transfers. So as I said, the flexibility is there when you go digital. Okay, so that all the services are been offered by a depository. Okay, right issue is one of a concept which we need to explain. Nowadays, a lot of companies basically are coming up with this right issue. So what is the right issue? So right issue basically is a part of a corporate action. Okay, a corporate action means corporate action consists of your dividend. Okay, your split, your bonus. So there are companies who basically issue bonus of shares. Some companies issue split of the shares. Some company issues right issues, and and a lot of companies majorly in their quarterly review meetings basically they also give dividends. Okay, so these all form a part of a concept known as corporate action. Okay, now there's one part which is important as right issue. See, bonus split dividend is a very simple format. Company makes profit. Some part of that profit has been given to the shareholders, is known as a dividend. Okay, split is basically whatever the stock currently is traded, I split it into two parts. Okay, so the number of shares get increasing. And bonus is again the same thing where the shares is been given as a bonus to a lot of the shareholders. Right issue is what? In right issue is basically again giving additional shares to my existing shareholders, not new shareholders, okay, to my existing shareholders at some price. Okay, so generally this price is a discounted one, obviously, because if a share is trading at 100 rupees, and if I say as a company that you can buy a share at 110 rupees, nobody will buy from me. People will go and buy it from an open market. So generally, if I give it at a discount of, let's say, 2%, so 98 rupees, so people, existing shareholders will go and buy through the right issue. So not every time it happens, but there are companies who actually send notifications to people for right issues where they can actually go and apply for a right issue and the shares have been allotted on the T+2 basis. So you need to pay the amount. So there is a concept where you can pay full amount or half amount initially. Once the right has been issued, then the full amount needs to be paid. So this is also one of a very good concept. Whenever the right issue has been announced, if you are confident in that particular share which you have brought, and if you're getting it at a discounted price, obviously you should go and apply for it. Okay. So there are a lot of digital services which are offered by CDSL. Okay. So there is easy one of a concept known is basically electronic access to security information. So you can actually download the app, and through the easy app, basically you can check whatever stocks you have brought, how much quantity is there, at what broker I hold that stocks. Okay, what mutual funds I have, everything you can have, you can check it through the easy login. Okay. Easiest is the facility which basically has been used to transfer shares from one account to other account. Okay. And all this transaction is can be done or viewed through web and through mobile app. It is been it's known as My Easy mobile app basically. There is a facility also again provided by CDSL, which is known as Smart Facility, that is SMS facility. Whenever you buy a particular share, you will receive a text message from a CDSL saying that this particular shares have been brought. And whenever you sell a share, you'll also receive a debit message from CDSL saying that this much particular shares have been debited to your account. Okay, so there is a fantastic way of managing the entire security factor of buying and selling of shares. Okay, so any kind of transaction, if involved of fraudulent, which will never happen, but in case of selling of shares, you can easily track it through an SMS. Okay, e-voting facility is available. So whenever you become a shareholder of a company, you become in a capacity to actually vote on a lot of resolutions which the company basically passes on. Okay, so you can participate through an e-voting system. It is not a mandate that you need to go to a company's office, or whenever there is an annual general meeting, you need to be present and then cast a vote. It is not mandatory, because generally what happens is wherever the company's head office is there, the annual general meeting basically takes place. So you can basically you can buy shares from anywhere across the country, right? You can buy companies shares which head office is in Delhi, but you can sitting in Pune, you can actually vote for that company. Okay, vote and vote whatever. E-locker is also a very good facility which is available. You can actually save all your facility. You can save your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, passport, and the best thing which I like about this e-locker is it actually sets up a reminder for a renewal. So for your driving license, for your passport, basically it will throw you an email and a pop-up saying that this particular license is going to expire in next 1 month, 3 months. Your passport is going to expire. So the renewal factor, you don't need to keep it. So it's a very fantastic way of saving things. And e-cash is basically the electronic consolidated account statement. So as I said that every month you receive a statement from CDSL itself. Okay, whatever stocks you have, whatever investments you have under that PAN basically. So whether you have invested into a mutual fund, on an equity with different brokers, the entire statement you will have, which will have all the information about whatever stocks you have, okay, whatever mutual funds you have, everything in the e-cash statement. Okay, so one consolidated statement will actually help you. These are all the services basically provided by CDSL as a digital part. Okay, these are the investor grievance things. If you have any issues with your stocks which are in your Demat account, you can actually go and lodge a complaint. So as I said, every authority which is there have their own grievance mechanism. So for CDSL, it's complaints at cdslindia.com, or you can also go to the website and log into the grievance system and file your grievance basically accordingly if you have any issues. Okay, but the first factor which I'll always tell is first approach your broker. Okay, if he does not resolve your query, then the second step you can go to the CDSL and mark to the grievance cell. Okay, uh, these are the new things which are there with CDSL. We have an online chat system, okay, where you can actually ask questions and understand everything in detail. Basically, a chatbot, okay. And if you want any further information about what is happening into the world of investing, Demat, okay, what are the new things coming up, you can obviously follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter and understand what new things have been basically coming up. Okay, so that's @CDSL India, which you can follow. Okay. So the last factor which I want to make you understand is what are the takeaways. So you should always update your current contact details with your depository participant. That's your broker. Basically, a lot of people update a wrong number, a wrong email ID, and they feel okay, everything is coming on mobile, or I can check it through app. What is the reason? But you should not do that. You should have your correct email IDs and mobile numbers updated. Okay, even your bank accounts details should be correctly updated because your dividend come into your bank account. Okay, your what your funds you basically sell a share and then you get it back. That also comes in your bank account. So correctly updated. Very important is you have to register for a nominee. It's a very important thing. Whenever you open a Demat account, please go and register for a nominee factor. Okay. There is a slip book. Whenever you open a Demat account, a slip book has been couriered by the broker to you directly. So slip book is as same as your checkbook. Okay, in the checkbook, when you basically, if you want to write a check to me, you can just write my name and give it to me. I deposit in a bank account, and the money would be transferred. Right. Same way is the slip book. So slip book basically is what? It's a kind of checkbook. So if you have a slip book with you, you can just write my Demat number on it. Okay, write the stock name, write the quantity which you need to transfer, sign it, and submit it to the broker. The stocks will get transferred to my Demat account. Okay, so it's kind of a checkbook itself. So as said that this slip book has to be kept in a safe custody. Do not hand over it to a broker or your friend, anybody. Don't sign it and keep it. It's same like signing a blank check and keeping it. Okay, so please do not do that. Okay, always track your Demat account. So as I said that whatever facilities we are there through easiest facility, through the eCash facility. So open it at least monthly statement which comes to you verified and do it on a regular basis. Okay. And very important which happens nowadays, please do not deal with unsolicited stock tips, messages which you receive, or telegram channels unless and until they are SEBI registered. Okay, please do not trade with all these people. Okay, just don't invest on somebody tipped you that okay, this stock is going to perform, this particular thing is going to happen. Please do not invest at all. Okay, so that's what I want to actually make you understand. Okay, so there are some things which I will also give you. There is a booklet of SEBI basically, which has all the details about investing. So right from basic to advanced, everything. What are those? It's through the FAQs. So it's basically a PDF which I will send it to you through the chat system.